Welcome to Warrior Class.
Where the teachers whip ass
And you will too
if you
if you pass.
pass. All
So
right.
this is the Where is the Lie episode. We're gonna give folks a chance to move on in here. So
With the like
we'll be
button.
dealing with some myths and debunking them. Myths in the martial arts and self-defense. Um, some which could be quite dangerous if you fall for it. Some are tradition, family members telling their children and grandchildren that this is this, and folks want to believe it.
Yeah.
Once I posted a couple years ago about, people think, well, I posted this whole list of what people think they can beat. So people think they can beat, dogs. 6% think they can beat a gorilla, a grizzly bear. 8% think they can beat a gorilla. It's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
this one sister just caping for her daddy. My daddy told me he beat many dogs with his karate. He would chop them, and I just said, okay, I don't want to break on nobody's daddy, but shit. Daddies do lie from time to time.
They've been known to tell some tales every night.
Right, right. So I'm like,
yeah.
My peace, uncle, yappa.
If I believed everything my uncle told me about how they fighting and all that stuff, man, I'd be telling people all type of stories right now.
Well, I had a dude tell me in the army. I said, damn, we must have been in different armies. He said in the army he learned that he could snatch a man's whole rib cage out. I said, you must have been in a different army because they didn't teach me that in the army.
You should have went Mortal Kombat. He learned that on.
he gonna grab me in my side. I said, I never learned to snatch out nobody's rib cage, but you don't let go of my goddamn ribs. I did learn to whip somebody's ass. I'm gonna beat the hell out of you if you don't let go of my rib cage. I snatch your rib cage out. I said, well, you won't, but you need to cut your fingernails because you're cutting into my skin. You ain't gonna snatch my rib cage out.
I really believe these video games and stuff like that, man. I'm telling you, especially these military games, because folks really tell me, like, I seen it happen with the sports games because it happened with me back in the days. I wasn't into football like that. I watched it because my friends watched, but I didn't really care. I played it, but when that game came out, I started knowing the players because of the game. So now I could talk. Like, yeah, use the wide receiver over there, number so and so. Same thing. Folks be talking all this gun talk to me and stuff. Yeah, you ever had a so and so the M3? I've never even seen that before. It was like, oh yeah, man, I be seeing all them guns. Where you be seeing them at? Oh, on the game, man. I be playing this game.
That's crazy.
And the whole thing is just romanticizing, like we always talk about with war, man. We are the most romantic people in the world.
People really think they know military strategy and tactics, how to move as a unit by playing these damn games.
That's not a joke. That's serious. People seriously think they know how to move.
They really think that. But the same when people play what's the game? It's not airsoft.
Yeah.
Right. They really think they know. And I'm telling you, man, we used to go paintballing. And there was a dude, Flash, who used to be alert, which is long range reconnaissance patrol in Vietnam. And people would think they knew. Now, a lot of us were military and stuff, so we were using strategy, but people would be out there who, just played a lot of paintball, would play with us and think they were on the same level, and we would tear their ass up. But we played a game called Get Flash, where he would be by himself, and it would be about 20, 30 of us trying to shoot him, and he would take everybody out.
Wow.
Because the stuff he had done in Vietnam, you know, alerts are special ops too. But they're different. So long range reconnaissance patrol, and they call them tunnel rats. So they would tunnel under the ground and go into different areas. So they were on some next level shit.
Yeah.
And we never got Flash. He was taking us out. I seen this dude go behind the tree. I know I got him. I sneak up to the tree. I low car to the tree and shit. I get there. He ain't there. Where the hell did Flash go? I said, where'd he go? People, oh no. The next thing I know, he in the tree up further, shooting the shit out of me. Shooting me. Me and my boy at one point decided we're gonna just charge him. So we charge and going behind trees and shit. We quick. We know how to move together as a unit. So we got his ass. And he comes out from behind the tree. Now we had just a regular paintball. He had this automatic machine gun paintball.
Right.
Thing. So they gave him some advantage. He one person.
Right, of course. He should have.
Goddamn, he come from behind there. And me and my boy just cracking up. We get fucked up. And he said, Flash, let it ride. That's what my boy screamed, right? He let it ride. We running and he tore our asses up. We were full of bruises and shit, but it was funny as hell. So that's somebody who's trained, right?
Right.
Now we were trained. He's trained. He's on a next level shit. So you want to talk about that? That's Rambo for real. So he was. You got guys who are like that, guys like me. So I'm talking about from level with like him, like me. Then you had these guys who they just play airsoft and think they know the same thing.
You can YouTube that. I posted one in our chat where these airsoft champions, they were the champions where they were at with airsoft team playing. You know what I'm saying? There's different divisions and you do different things. You know, they teams have different things. So one is you defend your flag. They got a game like that. They got another one where you try to take over the house or whatever. And it's usually, you know, 8 against 8 or whatever like that. So they went up against this guy. His father was special forces. So his father found some other military folks, never played airsoft, and didn't even know that they got the guys together, just got a couple guys that was in the military and played. And it was like the non-military team maybe hit one of theirs. I think one. Wow. In one drill. They hit one while all they men got taken out. And then folks ain't never even played. And they was taking it easy on them.
And they
were having fun. They
didn't even know each other.
Right. They having fun. While you see it in real time, the dudes supposed to be the pros, they are panicking. They serious. They taking it serious. Army dudes just laughing. They just pop. It's just fun in there. Man, if you don't know something, it doesn't exist.
Right.
I say it all the time. So if you don't know what real skill look like in a certain situation, then you're just gonna imagine what it looks like or think that you got. It reminds me of my daughter when she was 7, and she'd be like, "Look, Dad," and she'd be running with all the sound effects, and she'd be flying in her head because she ain't got nothing to compare to but herself. Woo, girl, you flying, and that's how we is. You know, it's funny, but we got to do better with that, man. We really got to do better.
Yapa said, would you ever step onto a plane with a pilot who said their only flight experience was a flight simulator?
Right, exactly.
So
no, sir. No,
right,
man.
exactly.
I'm sure like exactly 40 Blaze piece. Everybody, you know, share the chat if you get it. Not the chat, but the actual show if you can. We would appreciate it. Hit the like button and subscribe. We're gonna get right into it.
Now I want to say real quick, Yapo said, same principle, I'm a graphic designer. Everyone gets Photoshop and think they're a graphic designer. Nope, this tech is starting to make people think they can do what people are trained years to do. Same as that AI art.
Yes.
There are people now, I mean, they talking greasy. They stole my AI art that I put in 3 hours of work. And so I have friends who are artists. And they like 3 hours of work, really? You typed in some prompts. We work.
Right. Especially artists who now use the computer to draw.
Right.
Like that's crazy. I got my friend that you see all the shirts and stuff I've been wearing, he designs them.
I'm assuming does too.
Yeah, they learn how to use like the dots. They actually taking dots.
But they can also draw.
Right. They can draw in real life.
Paint. And these people typing in prompts and the computer doing it, they really thinking they artists now.
You're not an artist, man. You're not. That doesn't make you an artist.
Right.
I used to trace.
They're gonna do AI martial arts, and it's gonna be fools thinking they martial arts, and they're gonna get knocked out.
Or metaverse martial arts.
Right. Exactly. Man, I'm a black belt. Oh, okay, that's cool. In what art? Man, you know all the arts. Yeah. On the metaverse, I got my black belt in all martial arts. Like, damn.
Let me tell y'all, I could have got my black belt over the summer if I wanted. If I had enough money, I could have got my black belt over the summer in some of these classes, man. They'll sell you a black belt.
Hey, I was talking to my wife just earlier. There's a school. I can't remember the school, or I would name them. They give out a bachelor's degree, master's degree, and PhD in martial arts. First of all, martial arts is broad. There are thousands of martial arts. How you giving out a bachelor's, a master's, and you can get your PhD? They hit me up. Now, they've been around for years, so they hit me up, sent me a letter, because there wasn't no email. They sent me a letter saying for $1,500, because of my skill, they would grant me a PhD in martial arts. I'm like, get your ass out of here.
Dr. Balagoon.
I'm like, get out of here, man.
We are ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
That's foolish.
Peace, sugar booger. Peace,
but we love titles, though.
Man. Yeah, we love titles. Now, so I said the only thing that would come in handy, if I put that on the wall, they said, "Ooh, he a doctor of martial arts." Not even stopping to think, how's that possible? So, hey, give George Benson $100 guitar and give me an $8,000 guitar. His will sound like 8,000. Mine will sound like 100. It's all about the skills and training. Exactly. Shit.
Peace, sugar booger.
You give me, and I can play by ear. You give me an $8,000 guitar. I sound like $10.
Yibo, and I can too.
No competition. Yes, it's about skill and training. Odabo, y'all, be safe. Talking to the family. All right, so we're gonna get into it.
We're gonna start with the news. Before we start, I was thinking about this earlier. With the audience, with y'all, especially the people who have been watching since we basically started. I just want y'all to know, like, I have expectations of y'all. They say you don't supposed to expect stuff from people. That's what they say. I don't know who they is. So I don't always listen to what people say about they and stuff. But I got expectations from y'all. One of my expectations is by now, everybody should have a blade. Everybody should have a knife, at least.
Yes.
By now, at least 2. I don't care if they Walmart, $12. I do care, actually. But I'm concerned. But even if it's just a Walmart $2, I hate saying that name. I don't like that place. Even if you got to go there and get you a $2 knife, or the fish store, you go to Army Surplus, everybody should have 2 blades. Everybody that's serious about this show, that you are real, that we see you all the time. I ain't gonna call you out. We see your names. I ain't gonna ask you no questions. I'm just gonna say.
Well, somebody just said, "Uh-oh." So, that's somebody. Just go get you a folding knife.
Go get you a cheap.
I'll be right back.
Whatever it is,
and it can be cheap.
Listen, I'm gonna show it. When he says cheap, I'm not joking when I say a $2 knife. This is a $2 knife right here. It's $2. This is exactly how much this. Okay, inflation. That was before COVID. So it's probably a $15 knife now. This was $2 at one of those stores. You know which store I'm talking about, but it was $2, man. And this is not, this ain't crazy. It's probably might break off after I stick it in somebody, but guess what? I'm gonna stick it in somebody first before it break off. And as you get other knives, This was one of my first knives when I first said, I got to make sure I got a knife. And I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I went and got this one. When I ordered a knife, I put this in my to-go bag. Now, it's not my main to-go bag blade, but it's in there, you know? So I just wanted to say that because, you know, we ain't just talking about this. We got to be moving towards a direction. So, Bob, I put some Shadow House out yesterday. Okay, this is some Shadow House yesterday. It's fully edited now.
Oh, okay, cool. It is fully edited now.
I got some hair clippers cutting this boy head. See y'all in a minute. All right, get your folding knife.
Apple sent me his story, which is a good story. That's good.
Get your folding knives. Get your straight knives. This is a training straight knife right here. The shiny ones are good because that shine tricks your mind. So, ooh, that rhymed. So, yeah, I just thought about that, man. This morning while I was thinking, you know, I really want y'all to be on y'all game. So, you know, some of these angles, you can go back, you get you the knife and you go back and look at some of our shows and you know what to do with it, you know. And
and if you're in a place where you can't just carry a knife, get you a marker, you know, the pocket sharp, something like that.
You can do that. Get you a screwdriver. Hey, you know, get you I'm gonna tell you what to get. You know what to do. I ain't about to influence y'all too heavily. So anyway, one of the things we stay on this topic, if y'all ain't realize it, as far as news, I want to get into.
Oh, Sugar Book says she got a folding knife. Okay.
Oh yeah. She on it. We appreciate you, and you will appreciate yourself if you ever have to need it. We hope you don't.
Right.
So
you never have to use it, but
so this came out, y'all, December the 7th. And what this is, what I'm looking at right now is a missing children report. Now, this came out in Memphis. Anybody in the Memphis area can check this out. And maybe we put a link on it. I put this in the, I think I'm going to put a link in the chat. What happened is we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 children, Mid-South alert, Memphis Police Department. So what's happening in this, on this, like, doesn't look like it's more than like in a 4-block radius almost. In a week's time, all of these kids went missing in the week of the 7th of December. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. In one concentrated area, it's over 8 kids in a week in Memphis. They put out an alert on the 3rd. So this was for the 3rd to the 7th. This happened. The block of Flowery Peach. They put out an alert of missing endangered juveniles. Yeah. I just want us to really, because I don't believe that we really believe that these things can happen to us. I just know how as a people we are, man, until stuff happens. You know, I've been a victim of the same thing, you know, until my daughter and her mother got carjacked. I didn't think people was really carjack people. I thought it happened if you in the hood, you doing hood shit. You know, I used to be in the hood doing hood things. I understood what went with that. You know what I'm saying? If I got robbed, it's because I'm out here with drugs and stuff, and it made sense. You know, I'm naive thinking, oh, people ain't just gonna go out and you just ain't gonna take no car from a woman and her child, and you know, in broad daylight, and so ain't nobody gonna be wild like that. You know, once you rob the clerk and you got the money, you ain't gonna shoot him there ain't no reason to do that. That's how I used to think. These was years ago, but you realize people ain't got sense. Some of them, you know, are just on something else that you'll never understand because it's not in you. You're not like that, so you're not gonna understand why they do it. So I just want everybody to be on high alert, man, when you're out there, especially during the holidays. This is the time where, because it's so crowded, people get missing very easily. So when you're with your children, pay attention. You know, you don't want to let them, especially your little ones, go off too far. We was talking about that last show where little girl came up to Bob and just, you know, hey, you seem like a cool dude. I'm gonna hang with you, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Kids get missing all the time. So hold on to your grandbabies. A lot of us are with our grandchildren now. Our children are grown. You know, be careful out there. You know, you're not as mobile as you used to be. You can't keep up with them, so you tend to let them go do their thing a lot more. You know, just be careful. That's all I want to say about that. You can get into it.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're going to be looking at.
Well, 1 second, Bob. So, Kimberly, Wade, I'm going to pronounce that wrong. I've never seen that last name before. It's interesting. It says, got to think like they think, not like you think, which is not easy. Not only is it not easy, it may not be possible. So, because you're not a kidnapper and you don't know what they may be looking for, you know. So, I understand what you're saying, but it may not be possible. If you're not you may be able to do something. That doesn't mean that that's your thing. You know what I'm saying? I can hold a note on my saying.
The way you should think is think of a person protecting yourself from a kidnapper.
There you go.
That's what you are. Hopefully you never have to be that, but think that way. So you look at the evidence of, okay, what do these people do? What methods do they use? The danger now is people are lying. So they put the tissue in my, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
If I want to kidnap you, okay, if I want to black bag you, whatever you want to call it, I'm not gonna leave tissue there so you know I'm there. That shit is, these people are lying and they're getting clout. And you know, I'm usually quiet about it, but it's getting really dangerous now. The people, just to get likes and shit, they put, see, I found tissue in my driver's in the handle. Why they do that? When if they wanted to give you a substance that would knock you out, they could just put that inside the handle. They need a tissue.
Yeah.
That tissue, so they can show people. So people, ooh, and now people are afraid. They see. Come on, man. First of all, if you see tissue in your thing, you say, okay, that was an idiot. They don't know how to take me good. Thank God it's an idiot. You knock that shit out with an ink pen or whatever, or a stick. You take the stick, you open up the door, and you get gone. So all this panicky, all that's bullshit. You want to take somebody, it's not like that. It doesn't happen that way. People watching TV, so like your daughter with the imagining. They're imagining what a kidnapper would do. They have no clue. And so they're putting that shit in there. But that's false information. So people don't see that. They think they're safe. What you should do when you're getting in your car, you're paying attention to your mirror. Even as I step to the car, you're looking at the mirror before you even open the door. Do I see any movements or whatever? And I did a
workshop.
I did a whole show on here on how to
how to approach your car.
So you start from the back. You can look under your car. People say, man, it's too long. It's only a few seconds. You look under your car. From the back, you look both sides. Make sure nobody's hiding on the side. Then as you approach your car, you're looking in that mirror to see if there's any movement. It's things you have to do that way. You say, well, what if they did put a substance on there? If they did put a substance, they're not stupid. They're not going to leave a tissue. Right. So there's a substance, and we dealt with toxins, poisons. There's no substance that knocks you out in seconds through touch.
At least they ain't letting us hold.
Right, but it is your average, unless it's the government taking your ass. And if the government wants to snatch you, they're not going to snatch you that way. The government can be waiting in your house.
Yeah.
I came home one day. My wife, well, she's gone, but I came home. I told her, like, shit, dear, it was crazy. As I'm going in the house, a person comes out who lived, we stayed in the apartment at the time. Person comes out and say, hey, did you talk to Channel 5? I said, Channel 5? No. He said, they're in your house. They said they're going to wait at your house to talk to you at your apartment. I said, what? I said, well, how they get in the door? You had to go through this door and then wait at our apartment. He said, well, I let them in because it's Channel 5. I said, man, never let no motherfuckers in my house, in my apartment, unless they there to see you. Don't let nobody in. I don't know these folks. Oh, what, you don't think it's Channel 5? I said, bro, go ahead, man, but don't ever do that. So I just kept on walking, right? As I'm walking past the place, they come running up. Adam Swan? I said, who? Adam Muhammad? Who? My name's not Adam. What's your name? Well, who are you? What's your name? I'm so-and-so from Channel 5. I'm like, this ain't Channel 5. I said, okay. All right, well, I don't know who you're looking for. I don't even know that person, but, hope you find them. I just kept walking. These fools, and they knew it's me, but I wasn't going to admit it. I'm not going to make that shit easy on you.
I know
if they wanted to snatch me, they could have snatched me. They could have snatched me right there, So, but they got a fight on their hands, right? I get in the car. I'm more worried about somebody trying to make a move than give me some kind of substance that knocks me out, because that's not very common.
Right.
When a mug snatches you, that's not common that they doing that. And even chloroform, we dealt with that.
Right. It's
You're
not
not
like
going to knock somebody out in 30 seconds with chloroform. Right. It doesn't work that way. So there's a fight on your hands. You're getting paid attention to. So when mugs snatch you, who know how to snatch, that's not what they're not using substances like that.
No.
Just so you know that. So, all that kind of stuff is bullshit. Just be aware of your environment. Move with a purpose. When you get in your car, leave. Don't linger and watching the phone and all that shit, watching Judge Mathis.
Yes,
don't do all that. Get gone.
Yes, y'all, but movies be getting folks jacked up.
When you come back home, get out your car and move with a purpose to your house door, apartment, whatever. Do not sit in the thing waiting, chilling. That's when they get your ass. So to just have some common sense and move with a purpose and move intelligently out here. That's what you have to do.
It's okay to train moving in your house, how you move in your house. How do you evacuate, or how do you deal with a perpetrator and things like that? Because one thing,
Yapo's right. Movies be getting jokers jacked up, except Rocky 3. Yes, Rocky 3.
Except Rocky 3. It's the only one that was true.
One of the best movies, if not the best boxing movie, and it's one of the best movies in the world. So you're right. Anything they say in Rocky 3,
I'm with it.
You with it. It's the gospel. You can go with that.
Say what do you say? What's the what do you say? What's the
what's your prediction
for the day?
Pain.
I love it. Okay, y'all. Train, get some blades, get your knives, train this stuff. That's the last thing I'm gonna say about it, y'all. Listen, I used to think, Bobby, you speak to this. Maybe you can. I thought maybe because I did something for a while, then I mentally mentally went over and over and over and over in my head. Mm-hmm. How much does that help you mentally going over something that you have never done before?
Well, it's good to think. But
I'm serious, because
if you've never done a thing before, like if you don't know a thing, it doesn't exist. So if you're going over, okay, if Johnny tries to snatch me,
right?
Well, first of all, if you know his name, shit, you really jacked up.
Something messed up with that, but okay.
Okay, somebody tries to snatch me. I'm going to do this. Well, if you're trained, you know what you would do if they put their hand on you this way, if they put their arm around your neck. So you can think through those things. That can be helpful. If you have no training, now you're just imagining. You're just fantasizing, because we should all imagine certain things. but you're just fantasizing, and that's not good when it comes to your safety. So get trained. Or a real simple thing is, if you can carry knives in your state, if somebody grabs me, first of all, have it in your low pocket. I'm gonna reach into my low pocket and I'm gonna stab back into their thigh. That you can imagine. I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna turn my shoulder. I'm gonna stab them in their neck. You can imagine those things. That's cool.
And the part that you can train is pulling your tool and having it ready.
And you can train that, yes. Now, but if you're doing stuff, don't get unrealistic. 10 dudes come at me. I'm a pull my pistol and put it back. Then I'm gonna jump in my car. You're not gonna do all that.
We'll discuss that in myths in a minute.
Right.
See, I only want to mention that because listen, I be around dudes who really feel like they tough. Some dudes that they come, I know folks, they feel like I do something to somebody. So in my house, as soon as you walk in the door, there's Mr. Cody and Mr. Dan. These are the dummies or whatever you call them that we train with. One is standing, one is on the ground. I will watch people walk in this door and jump and be defenseless for at least 2-3 seconds. Whoa, wait. Oh man. That's all it takes. That's about as much time as it takes to get.
I tell you, this one dude was being real aggressive with this sister. I defend the sister. He talking about what he gonna do. I hit him in his liver, right? He falls back. Craps his pants. So he comes at me. I'm trying to move because he crapped his pants, right? I trip him. Boom, he goes down. I drop my knee, boom, into the center of his body. He pissed himself. I just stopped and said, man, you do something else, all the fluids in your body gone. and so people who watch it were laughing. The dude wasn't laughing, but the sister I protected, now she should be worried. She's laughing. It was ridiculous. But he thought he was so tough. First of all, you ain't tough. You just over a woman like that, right? But even when I decided to defend her, he like, what you gonna do? He thought he was so tough until he didn't.
Right.
So don't think you're tough. And if you do think you're tough, train that shit. Train.
There you go.
Train tough dude. Train tough woman. train that toughness. And don't talk about, I may hurt myself in class because you're tough. So train all that toughness, boy. Then you tough and you train. Oh boy,
in real life. One thing E5 taught me, and was African martial arts definitely, and E5 taught me this is you don't know how it's coming, so just be ready for whatever. Baba teaches this in class. He's like, all right, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you, and I want you to pull your tool. As soon as I hit you, I want you to pull your tool. And he got his head. He done hit somebody. He done slapped 2 people. Boom, they pull their tool. Hit the first one. They pull their tool. Get to me. I'm ready. He hit me in the stomach. He ain't hit me in the face like everybody. I wasn't ready for. I still pulled the tool because of training. I pulled the tool, but I pulled the tool disoriented like a motherfucker. Excuse my language. I pulled it just as fast as I ordinarily would have pulled it, but I was disoriented. The training did that. So train it, folks. Train it, because you ain't gonna know when it's coming and how it's coming. You just got to be ready. Somebody needed to hear that.
Iapo said, if imagining really translating to good results, everyone would be king and queen experts in the bedroom.
There you go.
And the Professor John said, yeah, the bedroom bully. Now, I have imagined, and I would say, I'm not a king. I'm an emperor.
I was a conqueror.
My wife not here to debate that one, so
we can get to it. All right, y'all. Here we go. This is what you've been waiting for. The myths. Yes. The myths. Let's get into it. Let me pull out my myth busters right here. So
that was an interesting show. Mythbusters, they would bust certain things. They never really did martial arts.
I really liked that show too back in the day. I like Ripley's Believe It or Not. I don't know why that come together, but I just love Ripley's boy.
Because the one thing that people, and I was like, God, I'm glad they dealt with it. People used to believe that if you peed on the third rail, if you're not from a place that has trains like that, like the subway system, but so if you pee on the third rail, they said the electricity would come back, follow the urine stream into your private and kill you. That's not true. That's not true.
You pee on an electric fence, you will get shocked, though. That's true. Don't ask me how I know that.
I mean, if you're standing away from it?
No, if you pee on it.
That's what I'm saying, but you're nowhere. I mean, like you 3 feet back and you pee on it, you gonna get shot?
Yeah, you can get shot. You can't pee on the electric fence.
Well, I'm about to go outside as soon as it's done and pee on the electric.
Do not pee on the electric fence. But you can't pee on the third rail. I had to test all of these. I'm sorry, I was young.
That's terrible.
All right. So, Bob, you want to do? You know what? I'll do my number one.
Well, it's up to you. Jeff.
Okay. So for number one for me, because this was big. This was big for me. It is the dim mock, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if y'all know what the dim mock is, but it translates as the touch of death. Soon as the internet, well, not soon as it was created, because we didn't know for probably 10 years later, but soon as I was able to get on the internet, the old internet, when you could pull up all type of stuff, one of the first things I pulled up, I need to know about the death touch. It gave me this whole pamphlet. I ran it off, and I never did anything with it. So the dim mock is the ancient Chinese martial arts self-defense art. It's Cantonese translation. Both terms mean it's called dim su or dim mak. Both names mean the same thing. They literally translate as spotting blood. It is also known as the death touch, the delayed death touch, poison hand, or vital points striking. So, let me just say, first of all, they kind of first dim mock was supposed to be just the death touch. You touch somebody one place and they die. But then it kind of, when you start reading, well, maybe it's not exactly one place, but fatal pressure points if you press and the hold at a certain time and 7 o'clock and they're gonna fall out. Okay, this is the thing about that is maybe it does work, but am I gonna let you press the back of my arm for 7 minutes at 3:55?
Yeah, it doesn't. So
it doesn't.
On dim mock, and my father said, "Boy, you crazy." I found one point in reading the books and stuff, and it said, at a certain time, and so I'm at those times I'm striking that point on myself.
How did I know you were going to say
I'm striking at different pressures, light, hard, to see. And I told my father, I said, the dim mock doesn't work. That stuff they tell. He said, no, it don't work. But how do you know? I said, because I've been doing it to myself. He said, well, damn, you lucky it don't work. Because I'm, okay, 3:15, let me hit this. All of that. And see, there are mothers who still argue that because in their Kung Fu class, they teaching that they could do that. If you're teaching that, don't get out here and publicly embarrass yourself. Don't get out here and publicly try to say it works and I've used it, because we know you're lying and not going to hold back on it either. This is not the day to do that.
Right.
So that kind of, those kind of lies. And so people walk around thinking I'm safe because I just used this death touch on the mug, and then they get knocked out because the death touch didn't work. There's a guy, George Dillman. He does touches on people, but he ain't killing them. He just knocks them out. One touch knockouts. He always does it to his students. Let me stand in the class and hit me with a one touch knockout. It's not going to work. There's a famous martial artist who I respect a lot. He was talking about, I do the cobra strike to your third eye, and it'll knock you out. So he's doing students, they falling, and it's because they respect for him. They expect him to be able to knock them out with this. That's another thing, right?
Yeah.
I go up there, he hits doom. I'm like, okay. He said, you want it again? I said, yeah. Doom. He said, look at him wavering. I wasn't wavering at all. And so at that point, I said, okay, even those who are skilled will bullshit to seem esoteric and like they have some high spiritual power when what they do is good enough for self-defense.
Yes.
See, we want to seem so man on the mountain and I can do this, I can levitate, I can stop it. You know, Maso Yama, when you talk about the death touch, had a book out where he chops a bull in the neck and he killed the bull. Bullshit. Bullshit. There's a famous martial artist in this Korean art who says he beat 700 people in one day, and people believe that. First of all, if you fight 700 people, it would take you're superhuman, but it would take more than one day to fight 700 people. He beat them all in one day in this park.
It's been a big park.
Now, he got people who got sense, who are instructors under him teaching this shit. And I'm sitting here like, get out of here. Get out of here. It's only my respect for them and love for the people who invited me to this thing that I wouldn't say something. But I'm knowing it's bullshit.
Yeah, fighting seven. I mean, come on. If he was freestyle wrestling,
it's in the newspaper. I can pay a newspaper. I can create my own newspaper and write some shit.
Yeah, nah. If it was if he had a gun, maybe I'd believe that. But you know, it's been now, just so y'all know, it has been one documented case of a man who died suddenly after receiving a blow from the main Denmark location, which is the back of the neck at the base of the skull.
Oh, yeah. You get somebody in the back of their neck with a strong enough blow because you just separated the medulla oblongata and the cerebellum from the spine. That ain't got
a pressure point. That's not a pressure point.
So any strike that kill you can say is a death touch if that's the case.
There you go. That's what I was about to lead to. So there's some death touches out there now. Matter of fact, if you let me hold one of these, I can every strike could be a death touch. You know what I'm saying?
And I tell you, I hit to the throat many times, and that doesn't kill a person like they do in the movies.
Oh yeah,
and they die all suddenly. It doesn't happen like that. You crush the trachea, but you can get to the hospital. You got about a minute and 30 seconds before you expire from that. So don't rely on stuff to just take a mug out immediately. It's hard. Even if I took my knife and slit your throat, you got time. You probably are going to expire, but you got some time. Maybe get yourself now cut here. You got, I don't want to say plenty of time. I don't want you to get a false sense of you okay if I get my damn jugular vein, split. But you have a couple minutes to save yourself.
What you do when that happens, you squeeze the skin and you hold it tight together like this and drive yourself to the hospital.
Your hand and your shirt gonna be bloody. You got a couple of minutes. If you happen to be across the street from the hospital, you may survive. Your artery, that's pumping out. You don't have that long. Your femoral artery, you really don't have it. You still have time. You don't die instantly.
You can make some calls. I love you.
You can make some calls. I love you. You got time. So these instant kill things, there are ways to instantly kill you now, but most attacks that kill you, the most common attacks, they don't kill you quickly. Now there are ways to shut your brain off.
Nah,
if you ever brought Amosun out here, he would tell you a story about me having to shut the brain off on a certain animal once, and it freaked him out. But And I really felt bad. I said, man, in the old days, I wouldn't have felt shit about doing this, but man, I felt bad, you know. But
you talking about y'all talking about the touch of death is when a blind date who looks nothing like you expected them to in a bad way takes you by the hand.
Oh no.
That was a good one. A guy stumped his toe and he died.
The touch of death is when your little children say, let's go across the street, and they digging in their nose and they got the boogers on their fingers, and you don't want to not grab your baby's hand and walk with them.
Oh my goodness.
That's the touch of death. Because I couldn't wait to get across the street and wash my hands. And B-Lake can tell you in class, touch of death for me is sister brought her baby to class. I picked the baby up like, hey! And the baby had some candy and jive on his clothes. And I got this, I got
that sticky activated liquid. It activate when you touch it.
I said, get the baby. And the mama of the baby laughing. Nobody would get the baby. So I got to put the baby back in this little, the thing that they run in. I got to put the baby back in there, and I ran to the bathroom to wash my hands. I always tell I can deal with blood, I can deal with mud, I can deal with shit on my hands. I cannot deal with candy and sticky fruit juices and on my hand. I can't deal with it. And people say, why is that? I said, probably PTSD.
Yes, that is the guy who trained Sonny Chiba. And yes, that is him.
Snatched out the who killed the bull. Yes, he trained Sonny Chiba. Yes.
Did he actually kill the bull?
No.
If he probably with a sword.
Yeah. He probably had a blade like under his shirt. It's like cut that boy's head. Right. Or the bull was elderly and sick.
There you go. All right, Bob, it was on you.
All right. So my number one is you can drive the nose bone into the brain and kill someone.
I know you hate that one because that's since the beginning of this class.
So, the idea is you strike with a palm up into the nose and you drive it up into the brain. Impossible. The nose is mostly cartilage. So there's no bone to do that. You say, well, what about the bone back here? That's connected to your skull. It's not as hard as the rest of your skull. If it was, and you broke that, because it can be knocked off, you break that, if it was as hard as the bone and the rest of your skull, it maybe would shoot back, which would really shoot like a bullet into your brain. You have to really hit hard. But if you hit it hard enough to do that, these are fragile. This is fragile here. When you get, man, I got my nose broken. It's that bone that's connected to your skull. It's fragile.
Right.
You get punched in your head, it's not breaking. This can break. It will shatter into pieces. It will not fly into your brain. So that is an impossibility. People don't know the origin of it. I do know in the 70s or early 80s, it got popular. Stephen King wrote this book called Firestarter. Yep. In that, John Rainbird was a CIA assassin. He was a Native American CIA assassin. He goes to kill this dude. He gets information. He strikes the dude in the nose, bridge of the nose, so it breaks that bone, and then he hits it, and it sends the shards into his brain. That is impossible. I was a little boy when I read that book, and I was cracking up because I knew then from training that was impossible. Okay. So that's anatomically impossible to do that. So that's my number one. All right.
And my number two could have been my number one. I think I probably could have been Bob's number one too, because this is one of the things it used to be funny, but now it freaking just balls me up. And that's moving an opponent with your chi. That's that bullshit. Now, we ain't about to spend a lot of time on this. Bob already basically mentioned it. When people believe in you, they want to believe. And then they can, if they're afraid and believe in you, and there's a little bit of fear involved. Oh my goodness.
Right.
Add a little mysticism, which means that factly they don't understand, because you don't fully understand martial arts. So you got a little mysticism with it. You got a little fear of the person that's training you. Put all that shit together. Do you like that? And you jump back. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like Baba said. You only see people do their students like that. You can Google and YouTube fake martial arts experts. You can look on the Warrior Class BPM of African Martial Arts or Raquel and see the last post for this particular show, and you'll see some examples of people doing ridiculous things. But if you don't know, it's not ridiculous. Like, it's some ridiculous looking shit out there.
Right.
Ridiculous. But folks believe people that they trust you, they're gonna believe you. You know, I'm pretty sure I could convince my daughter that a big fat white man buys her presents on Christmas when she was little, but I didn't choose to do that. But you can make folks believe stuff, man. You know, so it's crap. It's just, let's leave it at that. It's crap. It's the reason why, like Bob always say, we joke about this, and somebody else was joking about this. People used to put spells on people until somebody put their hands on that person that was talking. That's what happened. So maybe you can say something that can move me physically, but before I let you open your mouth up, I'm gonna put this on you. And if I can't reach it, then I'm gonna hit something with a spell. I'm gonna throw something at you. It's gonna be physical. It starts in the spirit, and then it comes out in the physical. If it stays in the spirit and doesn't come to the physical world, it's gonna be hard to move the physical physically.
Right.
We shouldn't have to talk this. So let's just move on to your number two.
I'll say this. Yabo asked, does acupuncture work? It certainly does. Acupuncture is different than some dude, hitting you with a dim mop.
Acupuncture is physical contact.
Right, and you're putting the needles inside the person. Now, acupressure works too, not as well as acupuncture. Now, yes. David Thorne saying that Mobb Deep song Shook Ones Part 2, Prodigy had that line where he said, rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. Yeah, that's exactly why we don't take stars right. as leaders or seriously and shit.
But poetry-wise, I love that line.
Because that's all, their whole personas and stuff is fantasy.
Right. The funny thing the fact that I'm sorry, that's a God, David. The fact that you mentioned Prodigy is very funny, because I just have to say this. I was afraid of Mobb Deep in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. I was a rapper from Wilmington, North Carolina, signed to Ron G and them in New York and Harlem. And I used to go there in the 90s. And when Mobb Deep came out with Shook Ones, I was shook. My homeboy was from the Bronx, and his grandma lived in Queensbridge, and I would not go. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I would not go. These dudes have, because they said don't come around here. If you're not from here, don't come here. We're gonna shoot you. If you're not from here, don't come here. I said, okay, I'm not going. Lamar. They said you ain't from here.
And it's so funny. I was in New York. Me and several of the students, we had gone to New York for a trip for this event we were part of and everything. And this sister came over. She said, me and my fiance, we're getting married and we plan to go to Chicago for a trip. Where should we go at? So I'm telling the place, I said, but please go downtown, go to Hyde Park. Don't leave the beaten path.
Right.
And she was like, well, we can go anywhere. I'm from Harlem. I said, sister, I'm telling you, don't leave the beaten path in Chicago.
Right.
But no. I'm from New York. I'm from Harlem. I said, sister, talk to that brother over there. That's Amosun. He's from Queens. He's been to Chicago. He'll tell you Chicago is a whole nother level of violence, of intensity. They don't care you from New York. I've seen dudes from New York come with their hats tilted one way to the right, and they meet some vice lords. They say, you better turn that shit around. You better turn it to the left or straighten it up, and they will straighten that shit up. There's a certain rapper that's in a popular group with leftists and revolutionaries and maybe they're a little revolutionary but gangster. There's a member of that popular group went to Chi-Town, and you can ask a member of Black Power Media who was there, and he had his hat turned. Now they from Florida, but he had his hat turned. They told him, "Hey, straighten that hat up." He's like, "Man, I wear my hat wet. Straighten that hat up. This is the last time we telling you." And the brother with him like, "You better straighten that hat up."
Do what you somewhere else. You do what they do.
So they're hard people. So and for me, I'm like, okay, Chicago. That's it has a level of hardness. Right. I'm not gonna go off the beaten path, goddamn it, in Alabama, because I don't know it. There are people that's willing to do you
right
to get what they want. So even and so when that's anywhere. And then you talk about a place like Chi-Town, a place like LA. These are not places where you just say, I'm from so-and-so, so I'm tougher than them. It's not.
My whole point that I was going to say is how afraid I was of, going and everything. And I end up, when I got back to Atlanta, a month later, I seen Mobb Deep in the mall. And they was like 5'5", scrawny. Prodigy looked so weak. Like I could have pushed him down the stairs, he'd have fell. And then come to find out, he wasn't from Queensbridge. He was from the suburbs. Like he didn't even live that life at all. You know what I'm saying? But he was such a good artist. He convinced me, and I was shook. You know what I'm saying?
So you think he'll stab you in your brain?
Right. I thought he would stab me in the face with the young rock me. I heard that line. I was like, "Ooh, that's the most violent." I don't want to go to.
But it's like God damn it, what's his name? He said, "I'll punch you in the chest so hard your shoulders touch."
Right. I forgot who said that, but I did.
God damn it.
I love that line. I love that line.
Well. And I was like, well, damn, that's a great visual, but of course that's like reading a comic book because that ain't happening.
Right. And the person that said it probably ain't gonna do it anyway.
No, that's why I'm trying to remember his name. Cannabis.
Oh, right.
Cannabis. I don't know if you've ever seen Cannabis.
Right. He's
Cannabis ain't touching you and shit touching.
Right. Him and Prodigy was the same size.
Right. And he may have been trained. I'm trained. I can hit hard. I can't hit you hard enough to make your shoulders touch. I wish. But so that's a beautiful visual. Just remember, it's like you reading them. It's like reading a comic book, reading a science fiction fantasy novel. It's the same thing. So you can't see that is proof that you can do, which I don't think the brother was doing. But I'm just saying, So when folks say those kind of things, don't take it for gospel. Just take it for it. It's a raw line.
Now these new rappers, these young folks is out here now. They're a little different. They putting in the work and then talking about it on the songs and going to jail.
Yeah.
Old school ain't doing that.
That's because they believe the old rappers were really doing it.
Nah, the old rappers that was really doing stuff, they was talking about dancing and partying. They weren't going to incriminate themselves on records. They was partying. They did party music. But what's your number 2, Bubba?
My number 2 is the brain is a muscle to be trained. I had a sister argue with the brain is a muscle. And his brother said it. It was funny. Kalanji jumped in. He said, man, it doesn't matter what you think. I think it is a muscle. He said, it doesn't matter what you think. It's actual facts. Yeah, this brother here knows what he's talking about. He said, but you don't know what the hell you're talking about, man, because you think. Your emotions don't mean nothing when it comes to fact, because social media has made people really think what they feel is more valid than knowledge.
Exercise your brain muscle. I understand that ideology.
People like to say that. Exercise, first of all.
Soft tissue. What are we talking about?
First of all, the brain is an organ, not a muscle.
What are we talking about?
And some simple, so you'll know, there is no muscle that is covered by bone. None. Not in a human being, maybe an alien. There's no muscle covered by bone. Think about yourself. You have muscle on top of bone. You don't have bone on top of any muscle. You don't have an exoskeleton.
This
So your skull is on top of, it covers your brain. That lets you know right there the brain is not a muscle. Muscles move skeleton.
That's the part I'm getting. What is the function of a muscle? We can stop right there.
Right.
The brain contractions are like what?
The brain is an organ, just like the heart is an organ. I've heard people say the heart's a muscle. It's not. And it's covered by bone. So it's not. When you say you exercise your brain, one easy way, well, let's do from martial arts. You learn techniques. That's exercising your brain. I got to remember these techniques. Right. That's the one value. We talked about value last week of forms. For me, that's the only value, maybe others, but you're learning a form, maybe 300 movements in that form. That's exercising your brain. The memory, you got to memorize. Yes. Reading is exercising for the brain.
What is it, firing off?
You can read all day. You're not exercising your muscles.
No.
You better work them motherfuckers. You better move them. You better stress them so they build up. Right. You're not moving your brain. And if you stress your brain too much,
right,
you stroke out. So it's totally different. If I deny you oxygen to your brain, you can pass out or die. If I deny you oxygen to your hand for the same length of time, 30 seconds, it don't take that long for your brain to but I deny you, well, let's say, okay, 10 seconds, I can knock you out. Your brain, denied oxygen. I deny your hand oxygen for 10 seconds, it just tingles.
Right.
Because we're talking about muscles are different. They need oxygen or they start to rot, but not like the brain. The brain is an organ. It has a whole different function from muscles. So it's not a muscle. And I feel like it's a muscle, I think, if you're using those words, I feel like it's a muscle, I think it's a muscle, you're being stupid.
Only use that when you're arguing.
You're being stupid.
Only use those type of words when you're arguing with your significant other. That's the only time that matters.
And even then, he thinking you're being stupid.
There is, but that's the only time you can get away with it.
Fact. Yesterday, I got embarrassed. We talking, and about the time I said, look, dear, Florida is on the same time as Georgia, as New York, as Baltimore. It's Eastern time, and it is, except in Panama, Florida, it's Central.
Yep.
And so her and my daughter teamed up on me and embarrassed me. I said, I know what I'm talking about. But I didn't. I felt like I knew what I was talking about because I didn't bother to research because I knew Miami and all that Eastern time. I got embarrassed. I said, well, I apologize. I just won't say nothing else for the rest of our trip. So my wife said, oh, you're going to do that. You're just not going to say that you're going to go that far, huh? Because you got defeated by your wife and your daughter. You got defeated. And so now you're not going to say nothing. So because, so we laughed about it. But you have to know what you're talking about, man.
Just posted about that.
Not to have research. It's not what you feel. So I was being stupid. It's not about what you feel because you got embarrassed. You looking stupid.
See, it was a time where like that means it was a time where folks only spoke when they knew what the fuck they was talking about. They only spoke. When you was in the room and you saw people being quiet, they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. They didn't know nothing about the subject. They didn't chime in. These days, I swear to goodness, boy. And I don't talk about all I talk about is so-called Negroes because I don't know about what other races do. But us, let it be a legal case. Oh man, we got legal correspondence all on IG. Let it have something to do with COVID. Oh, we got scientists right here. So we talking about. We got self-defense. Oh shit, we got motherfucking ninjas and shit over here. So, and I'm saying ninjas on purpose because that don't mean shit, but because we don't know shit, we think that means something.
Right.
And so anyway, my number 3 for foolishness and maybe this might be a personal thing, I'm saying impenetrable skin. The reason why I had to put this down is because at one time there was so many videos, and the one that was popular was the young boy who let these 3 other boys put a spear to his neck. This is like 15 years ago, but it stayed around for like 10 years. And he leaned into the spear, and he did like this, and he was ready. He gave him a signal, and he went forward. He took a step forward with the spear, and the spear bit a little bit. They went a little bit forward. The spear bit even more. They went further, spear bit so much, and it just snapped. This whole spear just snapped, and then on his neck, just like that. I was like, wow, that was impressive. That was impressive. But then I just started thinking, and I was like, well, I wonder. First of all, I don't know how sharp that spear was, and I'm sure you can do exercises to condition yourself for something that's happening. I know something's happening. I'm conditioning myself. I believe maybe you can do that. Maybe you condition your body, but that's not going to help you in combat.
The spear has killed a lot of people in combat.
A lot of people. And yeah, if I put a dull knife right here, and maybe if I tense up and do some type of visualization and qigong techniques, maybe it wouldn't cut me as much. But I'm just saying, I've never seen nobody take a sharp knife and just whap, just like that.
Right.
Now, holding it right here, a spear that nobody saw if it was really dull or not, and pressing it slowly is one thing. Take that spear and just say, whoop, just like that. Whoop, just jab him. It's tricks and everything.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I read this book about this ninja, Masaki Hatsumi, who's like the ninja master of the Kogakure Korbo, whatever, Kogare, whatever the hell that shit is, right? Ninjas. They said he took his sword, had a student put out his thumb. He goes across with the sword across the student's thumb. He said, the ninja is your mind. So if I don't want you to cut, you don't cut. He said, but if I want you to cut, and they put his thumb across, and the dude's fingers start bleeding. And people read this, eating it up. Bullshit. I call bullshit. I call bullshit on Stephen Hayes, who wrote the book. I call bullshit on Masaki Hatsumi, his teacher. I call bullshit on any students of Stephen Hayes who could be watching right now. I call that bullshit. You prove that, and you don't owe me nothing. Prove that to the world so we can all take ninjutsu. So that kind of stuff, that impenetrable skin, that's why I laugh, because I've encountered that many times. Even in Woman King, when the sister going against the brother and they pushing the spear towards each other. That's the most ridiculous. They've both been hollering. Shit.
And it was a very dull spear. Otherwise, as soon as you did,
right. But then she takes it. Oh, and they holler. But then she ha. Yeah, she'd have been hollering like that because get me to the hospital.
Right.
Fucked up. And here's too.
Listen, I got sharp blades. It's no way. It's going into your flesh. Yeah, you can just, if you hold a real sharp blade, just do like that. It's gonna open you up.
Right.
A little bit of press
and
going.
And it is. You feel it like, oh shit, this is sharp as hell.
It's going through. It's bullshit. I love the Woman King, matter of fact, as a movie, but it was some bullshit in there. Like, come on now.
Right. Exactly. That was, that was cool for you to see and say, okay, that's a tough sister, but come on.
Y'all was on one today. She said, when I was a child, my ankles were impenetrable.
He said,
oh, I'm sorry. Y'all said, when I was a child, my ankles were impenetrable. Then my mom forced me to scrub all the dirt and ash off. I lost all my clothes. Yo, why was my ankles so dirty? I had some dirty ankles too, bro, when I was little. I ain't lying.
Why I got the dirty ankles?
My ankles, I was barefooted. I'm in the country, so I ran around barefooted. And I didn't want to wash.
Your foot wasn't dirty, just your ankles.
The ankles were spotted dirty. They had spots on them. So dirty.
Maybe your feet were impenetrable. Your ankles not.
Now, after being barefooted for now if you see my feet, they look impenetrable.
Yes, they do. Yes.
Okay. All right, number 4.
A quick story for y'all. We were doing spiritual work on everybody. We had to put certain herbs on their toes, right? Me and my wife said, no. We had to be that herb. You put it on your toes.
First mom was like, oh, hell no. Nah. Then y'all was like, what? Oh, no, you just you do this shit yourself.
Right, we gave him the herb to put on his own toe. Like, hell no.
Oh my God! I'll have a very high level of shame on myself. I'm not embarrassed at all. Okay, so what your number 3, Bo?
Okay, my 3 is black belts must register themselves as lethal weapons.
That is a good one. That these hands,
yes.
Register.
So now, when I got arrested, when was that? 2001, something like that. Violent crime. Get arrested. The judge asked me when I go to court, are your hands properly registered, sir? I looked at my attorney. He said, Your Honor, you don't have to have your hands registered anywhere. That's not an actual thing. And I don't know if the judge was trying to, if I had been like, no, he's just giving me extra time, or I don't, because I'm like, how this judge doesn't know that this isn't a law, not just in Georgia, it's not a law nowhere. There's nowhere where your hands are registered as deadly weapons. What happened, where that comes from? That comes from boxing. Boxing promoters would say, so-and-so hands were registered as deadly, we took him downtown and his hands were just registered as deadly weapons. That one is to intimidate their opponent, but also to sell tickets. People like, oh shit, he's so deadly, his hands were registered as deadly weapons, right? Well, martial artists ran with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's to make them sound tougher, but also martial artists, there was a grip against to use on your students. You say, once you get a black belt, your hands have to be registered. You give me $300, I'll register your hands for you. And so they were getting paid.
Oh, that makes sense. I like that.
and so that's so the martial artists ran with that shit.
Register.
And I know some students, I know martial art instructors who have done it to students, and I know them who will tell students their hands are registered because that make them sound so deadly. It's bullshit, y'all. It's bullshit. Total bullshit. But if you feel you just got to get those hands registered because they so deadly, you can send me. I'll do it quick. $500 cash out.
I will register, and if you don't,
I'll register the hands and your feet.
I'll do it for $250.
See, they just do your hands. I do your hands and your feet. And if you give me $1,000, I'll also register you for your throws and your headbutts.
Oh boy, register headbutts. Nobody ain't on that one. That's
right?
You knew.
Right. So hey, if you just need it. So Warrior Class is single-handedly destroying my ability to suspend belief in any movie I watch, past or future, except Rocky 3. Yes.
There you go.
Yes. And Rocky, so you don't have to suspend disbelief with Rocky 3 because that is all true. Everything in it is just the truth. Yapo is that one with? Is that the one with Mr. T? Yes, Sugar Booger, that's the one.
It's the only one.
It's right, the only one. Really, you don't have to watch any other Rocky films or films. Just watch Rocky 3, and you have, and Jared cannot dismantle Rocky 3.
No, sir. No,
there's no, he'll make a clown of himself if he does it. Him dismantling Rocky 3 would be like a person driving the bones into your nose. It just ain't gonna happen.
It just ain't gonna happen.
It just ain't gonna happen.
John Blaze 42 said, I thought if a professional fighter got in a street fight, they could be charged with attempted murder. Well, anybody can be charged with attempted murder. Yeah, so when I went to jail, I was listed as I was listed as a risk to officers. They have bands. They got the yellow band. You're not, that's for a criminal that, I don't know, you shoplifted. They got the orange band. You did some type of crime like, a bank robbery or, or something like that. The red band, you're a violent criminal.
And when it's an R on it, that's your risk to officers. So, you know, they had me in there, and people looking like, oh, and, you know, what did you do, sir? And all that, right? You Taliban? Me and this other brother. We're like, yes, yeah, we're Taliban. Yeah, we're the Taliban. Get out of here, you know, but yeah, we're the Taliban. So you could be, in regards to that, a professional fighter got in a street fight, they could be charged with attempted murder. So for me, with that on, if I got in a fight with somebody, my charge would be heftier than somebody with a yellow band.
Right.
Okay. So
in that
if
respect,
if John Bones Jones went to prison for beating somebody's ass,
and
he's
then
been for other, he would get more time, yes.
Yeah.
And possibly attempted murder because he is skilled and stuff. But that don't mean he has to register his hands and deadly weapons or nothing like that. Yeah. That's the situation is he could beat the shit out of most people walking around on this planet.
And he's skilled enough to not have to.
Right, exactly.
Do somebody. So that's what they're going to use all that. A good lawyer will use all that. So in that respect, you are right, sir. Dr. Peggins, that is my next one coming up. So you didn't I'm not.
What Doc say?
Doc wanted to know. First of all, Doc, I just want you to know I don't take personal that you guys ask Baba all the questions and never ask me or Amanika. I just want you to know first of all, that does not bother me. But second, now he said, I apologize, I'm late to your discussion, but Baba, what are your thoughts on hand and skin conditioning to break bones?
No, hand and shin conditioning.
Hand and shin hand and shin conditioning. Okay. Cool.
To break bones. I imagine you're talking about conditioning them so they harden up so when you hit a mug, you break his bones.
Is that part of the iron fist technique conversation we about to have?
I'm not sure. I'll tell you. Well, do your. You said yours applies to it. So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is the famous or infamous iron fist technique. And anything on that level. So that's why I said
body, iron. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so. I saw this as a kid, and this is why ignorance is so dangerous, man. Because I saw this as a kid. I guess on Kung Fu Theater. I have no idea where I saw that. It's a real technique. And when I saw it, I went straight outside. I got 4 buckets, dirt, sand, gravel, and I immediately started punching them. Just the same exact way for about 20 minutes until I was like, oh, man, this is just painful. I ain't doing this no more. And I never did it again. No, I did it for about 3 days. Let me keep it real. I was about 12 to 13. I did it for about 3 days until I really started getting blisters on my fist. And that was it for me. I wasn't trying to get no blisters where I couldn't do nothing, and I stopped. But I used to think all to my 20s, no, I'm going to go to the 30s, that especially Remo Williams. I don't know if y'all remember Remo Williams. Mm-hmm. Remo Williams had a little dartboard. He used to just hit. He used to do that every day. He used to hit the little board, and he could poke. You know that move right there. His master was killing people. Just poke, everybody's out there one finger. So
I'm glad you said that about the finger. Go ahead. I'm gonna deal with that.
I believed in that. In the iron fist technique. Until this is why real martial arts has to incorporate the anatomy, the study of the human body, the study of muscles, how they move. You have to understand all of these things, how the body heals itself. All of these things are important for martial arts. Because if you hurt yourself, you need to know how to get right, how not to hurt yourself, and all these things. So once I understood how, a lot of this came from Baba too, how the skin and muscle tissue work and heal, then I realized that how much bullshit that all of this stuff is. I thought it was a way to achieve something, just wasn't a viable, really. My whole thing is efficiency with me. So I thought, okay, you could do this. It's just not very efficient. But when you find out it's actually dangerous, stupid, and it doesn't work like you think it worked. And I'll let Baba take over on this because we kind of spoke on this before a little bit.
So
I said yes, that's what I meant.
Condition my hand. So when I would Me and my students would get up 4:30 in the morning, meet, and we would throw 10,000 punches every day, and this for months. And so the power was there, the speed, and we wanted more. So I wanted to feel an impact. So I got some canvas bags, filled them with sand, filled one with kidney beans, filled one with iron ball bearings, put tape around so we wouldn't cut our hands on the canvas, right? Duct tape, punching, 10,000 punches on that. And, I thought that was good. And it was cool. You get used to that impact. And then I'm punching up. So we started with the sand, and we went to the beans, and we went to, well, they didn't, but I went to steel ball bearings. And I started to get green in my fingers, like a green hue. And then I couldn't fully close my hands. They were always hurting. And I told my father, he said, well, what are you doing now? I said, I'm hitting the steel ball bearings. He said, anything you hit, and you're causing, a breakdown of those materials, well, that breakdown is getting absorbed into your skin.
Osmosis, baby.
And so I was getting metal deposits in my skin, and it was really just causing my jaw to harden. It was hurting. And so I had to use this stuff called di da jiao. It's a Chinese herb, and use that to basically break down those metal deposits, move them throughout my hand until I guess they dissipated or what have you. I was crippling myself doing that. The other part is, I said, well, I'm just going to go to water and drop in my hand. So my father said, why would you do that? I said, because a friend of mine told me that builds up your internal energy. You drop your hands in water. He said, and that also builds up your blood pressure.
Yeah, it builds up your internal energy too, though.
So when you also tapping your fingers, your fingertips, you could use pressure. So you could do fingertip push-ups. But when you drive your fingers onto anything, that causes damage to your optical nerves. See, we have to know these things.
It's important, man.
So when in the movie, Remo Williams doing this, he'd been doing that and had glasses thicker than mine after a while.
Exactly.
So you got to know this stuff for that. Now, as far as being able to break bone with your body parts, you can do that anyway. You can throw an elbow. If I hit you in your arm with an elbow, first of all, I usually leave your arm out there. But it's difficult because people moving. But you leave your arm out and I grab it and I hit your arm, I could break your arm. Bone breaks at 45-degree angles. So as long as I do that and I hit it.
Right. It's not the strength. It's the angle.
It's the angle and knowing that. Or if I kick you in your thigh, I can break your thigh. Yes. You have to be trained enough to do that. Now, you want to condition your shins because I drove my shin into a friend of mine's shin, and damn near he was conditioning his shin, the Thai boxing, and I almost passed out.
That's why you condition your shins.
And I started conditioning my shins a lot. I got dense legs. I've always had dense, strong legs, but my shin, I condition them now, so they're hard as hell. But you got to do it intelligently, or you damage yourself then.
Right. That's not to break bones. That's for your own protection.
And that's for your own. So you run into something, or somebody kicks you and they hit your shin, you don't break. Like how Anderson Silva broke his leg blocking. No, he kicked and the dude blocked and his jaw broke. So as powerful as Anderson was, his shins weren't conditioned like they should have been.
Right.
So you can break bone. You don't have to condition. Just got to know how to hit to break those bones. But if I want to break your bone, I ain't trying to break your bone with no kick or punch. I'm trying to break your bone with a stick, a hammer, something like that. So I'm not risking my own flesh. You risking yours. Because metal, 9 out of 10, gonna win against flesh. Doesn't matter how conditioned it is. I kick a tree. I kick a tree and break a young tree down. Thai boxers, a lot of them can do that. I hit that mug in his shin with a hammer, his shit gonna break. So, I prefer the easy work. That's easy work, Doc. Just use something but if a person attacks me real quick, I can't pull my tool or whatever, I'm not going for the break except his face. After I throw him, I stomp down into his face. Because it's hard for a face to take the weight of a 200-pound man stomping down into his face.
Yeah, my fists and stuff, I like soft areas. I don't tend
to.
Yeah. So you're number 4.
I'm trained with the iron fist. Whoa, punching me in the skull, and the skull just collapses. I make his eyes touch. Like cannabis make your shoulders, make his eyes.
Make your eyebrows touch. God,
right, his eyebrows touch. Shit, that'd be dope.
Your number 4, sir.
All right, my number 4 is size doesn't matter. Get your heads out the gutter. I'm not talking about that, but for your information, it matters then too. Your significant other just being nice, little fella.
Size always matters.
Yeah, size matters. So I'm talking about martial arts wise. Now for the little fellas, your wife nice. So, just let her keep being nice and feel better. You're okay. You're doing okay.
Some women like quaint,
right, quaint. Yeah. Now, if your woman calls your job quaint, you got some work to do. You better do something.
You find out that's your nickname to her girlfriends when you come.
Oh, man, quaint.
little quaint.
Little quaint. So, I'm talking about in martial arts and self-defense. People say, size doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how big he is. The bigger he is, the harder he falls. Yeah. If you look at the harder it is for him to fall. Size is a factor when it comes to martial arts and self-defense. Now, proper training, you can overcome their size.
Yes, sir.
But if they have size over you and they're properly trained, you got a problem. Okay.
That's when tools try to come in favor.
And that's right. So tools is a great equalizer for size. You could put a knife in the hand of a 5-year-old and they will pump a 6-foot-tall, 200-pound man.
Wait a minute, Bob. Age of Preston John. He says age obviously don't matter. Actor Gene Hackman, ex-Marine at 71 years old, beat up 2 men in their 30s after a traffic accident in Hollywood. I'm going to tell you this, John. Age absolutely does matter. The same as size absolutely does matter. I don't believe Gene Hackman beat up 2 30-year-old men in a traffic. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't believe he did it with just his hands unless they wanted to get beat up. That must have been a show. I don't believe.
Or these are some old clowns.
Right. Myth.
So I'll be 55 in February. I can handle myself.
Very well.
But if you have a highly skilled person that is 25, they're not going to be as skilled as me, but I got the experience, right? Those are on my side. I cannot get in a protracted fight with a 25-year-old who's skilled and an athlete.
Right. It's got to end quickly.
It's got it right. And that's why when I'll stick you, I don't have time to be goddamn wrestling around with no 25-year-old. It'll look great for the first 30 seconds. And then after, he gonna be running roughshod. I'm gonna get tired of shit, but he won't be.
Yeah.
So that matters. Size matters. I was sparring with my student Akin Bobala, the brother that's from England. He is 6'3". He weighs like 2.
I'm 6'3".
Yeah, so so he's 6'4". He weighs like 265. We're sparring. And this is after something else we were doing. So we decided we were gonna spar. So, he kicking and getting on my nerve. I said, God damn it, stop all this kicking. Because he's tall, so he want to keep me back. He don't want me to grab him.
Right.
So he kicking to keep me up. So I I moved. I said, man, get that out of here, you know. So he realized, okay, he can move off my kicks. So I come in at him. I'm about to throw him, right? And he just swings hard as shit. Now, we got pads on, thank God. We were doing something else. Thank God we had these head pads on. He swung hard as shit. Boom, slapped. And when he hit me, I said, God damn. He hit. Now, I got my cover up to block, mind you, so it didn't hit my head. But just the force thing, my arm going into my head, if I didn't have that pad on, it would knock me out. Right. So my arm is up. He hits me. Bah, he really hit my arm. I said, what the fuck? He hits hard. I'm in my mind. My eyes, he hit me so hard. I closed, my eyes closed. And when I opened my eyes, I landed. Dude, I'm about 20 feet from this dude. I said, you know, we're going to take a break. Tap, tap, tap. Tap. We're going to take a break, you know, for a while. You know, you need some water. I need some water too. I said, shit, I'm not going no further. He knocked the shit out of me. Now, because he's so strong, a person that weighs 120 pounds could not generate that kind of power. No. Where he sends me flying like that. And at that time, I was heavier than I am now. I was 220 pounds myself. And if you was 120, could you have stood in front of that? And 120, he'd have knocked me out of flipped. Right, you couldn't withstand it. So size matters, y'all. Don't get fooled with that. Your training can trump that size, but if they're as trained. So when Bamboozled first came to the United States, he came, you know, to the house looking for me and stuff. I said, well, come down. You know, I was teaching in my basement. I said, come down. I said, the first thing I'm going to teach you is to get small. You're going to fight like a small man, but with your size, you're going to be so dominant. Yeah. And so at first, when the students were working with him, they had never worked with somebody so big. He was bigger then. He was close to 300 now. He's close to 300 pounds. So they like, oh, I can't, because they had never put in that kind of work to throw nobody. And he was just amazed that I could throw him because nobody in England was throwing him like that. Technique. And so it forced everybody to have better technique. After a while, Kunle was able to throw him, boom, when he couldn't, right? And so everybody's technique upped because you're working with a bigger person. Because if you don't have the technique, you're going to get your ass whooped. Got to be realistic. I don't care if you do karate, judo, African martial, whatever, size matters, y'all. And so when you see these big dudes that are highly skilled, they're dangerous as hell. Your best bet is to pull a tool. Now, if they pull a tool too, somebody like Bamboozled is very dangerous. Jesus. Because he's highly skilled. He's a master instructor under me, right? And he carries tools just like I do, like he does. So he'll pull that too. So like, okay, what you got? What you got? So, and you have many big skilled dudes like that. You know, there have been big dudes come to the class. A Shubai is bigger than Bamboozled. Yeah, but skill is different. Skill level is different. You know, he was throwing Kalanja all over the place. Mm-hmm. So I stepped in there. I'm like, you throwing that older brother like that? Come on. And so me and him went. And we went down to the ground, right? I threw him. We went down to the ground, and he figuring he got me. I know. I had to put him on the ground. I can't stand up with him for long. He's young as shit. He was like 25. I got him on the ground, and now that's the big equalizer. Unless that's the equalizer, the big equalizer tools. Once I got him on the ground, his strength means nothing unless he's trained to use it on the ground. He wasn't. Right. And that's where I dominated him at. But it's still his strength. I had to work to dominate him. It wasn't like an easy thing. Right. That strength to help him correct some stuff that ain't correct. And he could just fight his way through stuff because he's strong. So I had to get him in a position where he couldn't do that. So that should tell y'all something. If you ain't got the strength like you want, and your technique needs to be very, very, very tight. If you so small person, have tools. because you're training for somebody that's skilled. So
Right.
have your tools ready. And then if he pulls a tool too, you just got to be smarter with yours.
There you go.
So outsmart him. Most of the time, if I'm on the ground with you, my tool's out, you don't even know it's out. I cut you, I put it back up. I've done that with students sometimes. I'll slap my side, right?
Yeah.
I'm practicing, boom, hit him, put it back up. He doesn't even know what happened. That you have to work that's training. You have to train, yo. And if you can't train with somebody like myself, like Belay or somebody like that, you can train on your own with your significant other. Just really train the little bit you know. Train what you get from here and just work it. You ain't got to have a million damn techniques.
Right. You only
we have to have a lot of techniques because we teach. But the techniques I use to defend myself, it's probably about 5 of them. My students always say that's bull. You know, you're doing more than that. It's 5. I just know different variations.
Right. And hey,
and so that's what. You just train, keep it simple and train what you have. But size matters. Don't fool yourself and think it doesn't. That's why they have size weight divisions in all combat sports.
Right. I wrestled, I was 150 pounds in high school and I used to have to wrestle 171. And that's a big difference. It's not just 20 pounds like it says, 150, 171. You got to think the people wrestling 171, they really weigh 190, 185.
Walking around at 190, yeah.
Yeah, you know. So another thing is too, man, it's okay to train to run.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You heard it from me. Yes. It's okay.
Yeah.
In some situations, you may have to run.
Skill. Yeah.
But it's a skill. So let me just tell you this. If you don't train that, you ain't going to do that either. I was out here talking junk, me and my homeboy. Man, I'd have dusted you in high school. I'd have blah, blah, blah. Nigga, let's go outside right now. Let's race. We go outside. We get about 5-10 yards. He pulled most of both legs.
Damn.
I just jet on down. Hey, I work out at least, you know, if it's only 3 days a week, I don't do much. Right. But I do enough to, if I got to haul ass, I'm not going to hurt myself trying to escape. People don't realize that.
Yes. So one way I used to train was I would train my techniques, run a lap, train technique, run a lap, train technique, like that. And you can so if you can't do a full lap, you can run 40 yards and then train, run and sprint 40 yards. So I'm fighting and he handling me. I can't get in. Oh shit. Right. I pull my knife. As soon as I pull my knife, he pull his knife. And then we going at it. He disarmed me. I turn around and haul ass. Nothing wrong with that. That's tactical retreat. Yes. Tactical retreat. So it's a tactic. Tactical retreat. If I see you again, I'm gonna get you. If I don't see you again, well, cool. I'm gonna lie, you alive. And that's how you have to move. So if you ever see me running from, I ain't got no shame. It's rare you're gonna see that, but if you see me having to haul ass, I'm gonna haul ass.
Hey, I ain't got to explain that.
And the only time when I have shame is I can't run fast enough.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Train that too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It'd be real sad to see you on video trying to run and you can't even run and then you get beat up. Okay, so yeah, animals, they got different type of muscles with us. So they
running is the oldest form of self-defense. Animals do it with no training. Exactly.
All right. So now we're at our last one.
Well, hold on real quick. Girls 18.site is being very nice. He said, find your love in your city. Thank you, girl 18.site. I'm about to delete your ass, but thank you. Thank you for helping us find love in our cities. Get your ass out of here.
So for the fifth one, I didn't have a fifth one really. Mm-hmm. I was these are my, just so y'all know, the way we do this, if we list our 5, then the other person lists their 5, and then we make sure we don't have the same thing so we can talk about it, you know, on the show. But man, between me and Baba's the ones that he had in the 4 that I have, I didn't really have another myth per se. This is one I was kind of reluctant to get on, but I'm going to mention this for my last one.
Hold on real quick, B-Lay.
Okay.
James said he caught a Charlie horse in both thighs while driving. What the hell, James? I kept driving for 5 more minutes afterwards in duress. I know you were in duress. And James lift weights. What the hell, James? You must have had been doing leg day or something.
Yeah, James, you know what that means? You ain't drinking enough water after you work out. That's what that means.
Right, like damn, James.
Get you some potassium, some raisins, and some bananas. Keep them in your car.
That's like I tell you, I'm sitting here doing the show, and what's wrong, Ball? I just caught 2 Charlie horses. What the hell, James?
So my last one, we've talked about this before. I was reluctant because I don't want to jab at nobody, but we've already spoken on this, so I'll just say it. The last one, the one I really don't want to mention because we know by now, you cannot kick a knife out of somebody's hand. That's the last one, man. It's in a lot of movies. It's in a lot of shows. It's in a lot of classrooms, dojos. They teaching it. Don't believe it, y'all. Don't kick a sharp object out of nobody's hand. Don't try to kick above your waist, really. You really shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be even training that, because if you train it, you might do it in real life and get yourself hurt.
And on it also, don't train to put a knife in your toes to kick with that. Because first of all, you're wearing shoes.
I don't even want to know what that's about. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
So in capoeira, there's some capoeira classes that teach to put the knife between your toes because you're kicking and stuff. You ain't walking the street barefoot, and if you are, you probably look crazy as shit. Unless you're in the country.
Right. And that ain't the street barefooted, so that's different. You ain't at the corner store barefoot. I don't care what country you're at. What is y'all doing?
And you got a knife in your toe too while you're walking.
Now maybe you got I understand the razor blade and I'm from that era.
And you're about to fight. You say, "Hold on!" You take your shoes off, pull your knife out your pocket. Oh, you got a knife. You stick that shit in your toe, and then you start jigging.
If I wait for all that to happen, I need to get cut.
Right. And you start jigging. You would cut me because I started laughing like a mug. So,
man, just know.
That's another part of don't kick no knife out of nobody's hand with your legs or with nothing else.
First of all, don't try, because you're not gonna kick the knife out of nobody's hand.
And don't put a knife in your thing. Say, I just I'll cut his arm, his knife hand with my knife leg. Don't do it.
James said this was my first day on the hot day. I wasn't ready. Okay, James.
Right, exactly. It was leg day and it was hot.
You can kick a knife out of someo's hands if you don't wash your ankles.
They are impenetrable. And that's true. And make sure you don't use any lotion just to make sure.
You don't kick the actual knife. What you do there is you kick the hand and the roughness from your ankles. Ah!
It's gonna cut him like Masaki Hasumi's thumb.
There you go.
There you go. Yep.
Definitely, my ankles may do that. They may do
that. And you don't do. If you use lotion, the knife gonna slip from between your toes because your toes too slick. You can't use lotion. You don't use lotion. That roughness, it locks onto the knife.
Any good kicker tell you don't use lotion. Don't use lotion if you plan on kicking.
Because you want to have that cutting ability too.
Yeah.
Because they'll tell you your kicks are like spears. And that's another thing that's ridiculous. Your kick is not like a spear. It's not. If I use
like a spear,
your fingers like spears. Your fingers are not like spears. I'll take a spear and you use your fingers and let's see if your fingers feel like the spear when I stick you. So it's not. Now my number 5 is the black belt is the ultimate rank in the martial arts. First of all, most martial arts do not traditionally even use a belt ranking system.
That's big that you just said that. I don't know if people.
The Indonesian martial arts, Filipino, the African martial arts, I'm talking about the whole continent. India, Thailand, China, and that sash ranking, that's some new crap. That's I got a black sash in Kung Fu. That's them trying to keep up with karate and all that. So traditionally they didn't have no belts either. Europe, nobody except for Japan, China, and Okinawa. That's it. That's very small.
Very Small.
They not China, excuse me, Japan, Korea, and Okinawa. That's small. Japan, Korea, and Okinawa, they use a belt system.
Dang.
Nobody else was using belts, and most don't even today use belts. But the that shows you the strength of marketing.
That's what I was just thinking. What a fucking God.
Because it was marketed to folks. So you have Black Belt Magazine, which comes out. You have, judo and karate, and that was popular, and so they wore a belt. But even if we go even further with that, judo, jiu-jitsu, karate, aikido, originally they just wore a white belt. What the uniform they have on was just, pajamas. Really, when people say pajamas, it was just exercise clothes, like we wear a t-shirt and athletic pants. And they had the belt, which was just white. They didn't have a ranking system. And over years, from the dirt, blood, crud, getting on it, it got black. But there was no in between, so it'd be white and kind of dingy white, a little grayish, gray and black, from just putting in work and sweat and dirt and stuff on it, right?
Yeah, well,
that's how it was. Then when they brought martial arts to America, they said we're gonna make money off these
monetizing.
Folks. So let me go from white to yellow to orange to green to red to brown with stripes to black with stripes, so I can make money, because each one of those ranks you're paying that instructor for each one of those ranks. So we don't charge for tests. A test is a test of your skill and a test of our teaching ability. So why am I charging you for a test? Unless I was giving you, a certificate. Or so if you are trained for full instructor, that there's things that go with that. So there's charging, and because there are things that go with it that we won't talk about here. But you don't pay for no throughout your journey. That's just us. I'm just saying, but that ranking system, that's for money.
Yeah.
That's the money move, baby. You pay me for all these, and then when I give you a black belt, I gotta send some money to Korea, so it's gonna cost you $1,000 because I gotta send 800 to Korea. I only keep 200 to buy your belt. No, you send $100 to Korea to get that certificate that they mail back. You keep the rest of that money. Come on, man. So or however it goes, it's about money.
It's about money.
So and it's marketed where people just think black belt, but Indonesia don't have no black belt. Thai boxing ain't no belts.
Right, the most dangerous, the best.
Capoeira didn't have no belts, but trying to keep up, they end up with a cord system.
Yep, now they got cords.
You want to be different. That's a belt. That's a form of a belt. Chinese martial arts using sash. That's a form of a belt.
That's last 20 years they started with the sash thing. I remember when that started.
Yeah, because they want to keep up. I had students. We started using a ranklet because I was teaching young students when I first came here, and they wanted to compare to their friends who did karate and stuff. And so we said, well, we'll put a ranklet on their ankle. And I stopped because I hated it. It means nothing. It means nothing. And we weren't charging for it because I'm like, this means nothing. I'm not, because if I get a black belt in the art and I say, well, I'm not going to do this art anymore. The teacher, he's not a good person, and we'll take your belt from you. That means nothing. I still have the knowledge.
Yeah. So,
a person I know, his students, taught young students, they be clowning. So you keep on clowning, I'm gonna make you wear the pink polka dot belt. And so they keep on clowning. He would bring out the pink polka dot belt and make them wear it.
That's ridiculous.
So the child, ashamed. I'm like, all that kind of stuff is stupid. But that's because they put so much value in that belt.
Yeah, bro.
Because they don't know the history. And so people, oh, black belt. And my uncle used to always joke on me, you know, Adam, I'm a black belt too. And he would show his belt, his, you know, his regular belt holding up his pants. I was like, well, you know, I ain't, we don't wear no belts no way. So that's cool, you know. So people, so you my friends growing up, what black belt are you now? 3rd degree, 4th degree? I'm like, what the hell is that? What is degree? What is? And I learned that, you know,
the belt.
Yeah, they be like, you know, 1st dan, 2nd dan, 3rd dan, 4th dan, 5th dan, 6th dan, 7th, it's a 10th dan. When you got a 10th dan, that's a red and white belt. Who says? All that shit is just so ridiculous. So for me, that's the thing about the myth of the belt. Yeah. When less than probably 1%, when you talk about all the martial artists in the world, wear a belt.
This was great. That's a great point. That's a great. I didn't even know that. I knew it. I didn't realize it. If I'd have just thought about it,
because it's so ingrained in us.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. That's just, oh man. Before we go, y'all, I want to say, y'all, we really appreciate y'all in the chat room. Very lively conversations.
Hold on, real quick. James said it costs $200.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's crazy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and that is catchy, Ranklet. When he said it, I was like, dang, we didn't get a chance to know. I don't remember Ranklets. I would have wanted.
Yeah, because I stopped because, you know.
So real quick, Bob, I think you posted this the other day. I just wanted to just highlight this, man. Y'all be careful when y'all out here. Things are going on in Atlanta. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution, they had an article where they was talking about Atlanta Training Center protesters are charged with domestic terrorism.
And they talked about on here, that was, you know, Kamal, community movement builders.
Right.
Which Kamal's the founder of.
CMB, not to be confused with the Cash Money Brothers. That's different. That's different. Yeah. But you know, I just wanted to make y'all.
It's different, maybe.
Is it? So now, I just want
to real quick. James, his daughter was a purple belt. He paid $600 total.
We may need to reconsider this belt.
Maybe we will bring you a belt.
Like that, man. Seriously though, man, I only brought this up to tell y'all, man, y'all be careful out there. They are.
Wait a minute. Wait. The belt cost. Yapo just posted. Hell, you ain't been hungry since you won that belt, Rocky 3. Yeah.
You're right. No belts.
Exactly, because you ain't gonna be hungry.
No, my whole point was pointing this out, y'all. Is just be careful out there, man. Now they're trying to label people, and you know, and once you label a domestic terrorism, that's going to stick with you. You know what I'm saying? That's going to move with you as you move. That's not going to go anywhere. So just be careful when you're out here doing stuff that you know why you're doing it, know what you're doing it for. Be clear with what your intentions are, man, and just be careful. That's all I want to say about that.
And yes, Yapo, people become very desperate during this time of year. Yes.
Very.
So that people robbing folks and
it's crazy.
Very desperate. But that's y'all don't get the marketing. The marketing has gotten folks, you know, marketing Christmas. And
I be talking to people because I forget. I don't celebrate Christmas. I forget every year how stressed out it gets y'all. And I'm saying y'all for the people who celebrate, of having to move financially in ways you're not prepared to move, but you feel like you have to. That's a strange.
It leads you to robbing folks, killing folks,
depression,
yourself,
depression, debt. You know, over some bullshit. Now the kids need some real shit at the end of the summer. You can't do it. You done spent money on fucking Barbie dolls and Barbie cars, the new Barbie 4x4 Jeep.
I remember I developed a hatred for Christmas when I was young, because I remember hearing my mother crying in the bathroom, and I said, Ma, why are you crying? Nothing. And then I heard her talking to my big sisters about, I don't think I'm going to be able to buy you all Christmas gifts. And because at the time, well, at that time, my father was in the height of alcoholism, to be honest with you. Okay. So she said, I don't think I'm going to get Christmas gifts. And I said, Ma, you don't have to cry about that. She said, oh, I didn't want you to hear that, this and that. And I'm going to do what I got to do to get it. And she borrowing money from folks. And I'm seeing all she going through, man. And
painful, bro.
Baking 20 cakes, just, cakes cheap as she baking like 20 cakes, getting paid like $5 each. I said, Ma, keep that money. I don't want no gifts. I was a little boy, probably about 8, 9. I don't want no gifts. And I said, if this does this, hurts my mama like this, and I'm sure it's hurting other mamas and daddies, damn Christmas. That's exactly where I was at with it. Damn Christmas. And so for me, I always had a dislike, but the power of that, where it's you're depressed. Shit. She was not the type to rob people, but if she was, she'd rob some of us.
Yeah, no.
To give us gifts. You take from other folks. So now you rob them folks. They don't have the money to take care of their children and give them gifts. Now they depressed. They may kill themselves. See, all of that kind of stuff, man. This capitalistic society has to go. It has to go. And that's not just rhetoric.
Right.
It has to go. Because otherwise it's going to be just more and more generations of pain from our parents, from us, from our children. Our children embarrassed because they don't have gifts and stuff like that. Children wanting to celebrate some shit that you can talk to them all their life is bullshit, but the pressures of other students at the school, they've got stuff. So now they want stuff. All this kind of stuff you got to deal with.
Until it is dismantled,
yeah.
Be aware of what's going on and don't let this shit depress you to that point. Also, I want to tell you, this is the holiday season. You got loved ones that's behind enemy lines, is locked up and shit like that. Reach out, send a kite. When I say a kite, I mean write them a letter. You have no idea how much it means for someone that is locked up, whether it be in the county jail or in prison. It means a whole lot to receive a letter from somebody. It means a whole lot. So don't forget your people. Don't forget the people who parents have passed, who loved ones have passed. It's a hard time during the holidays. People have lost children. They lost parents. They lost their significant other. Give people a call. Give your elderly loved ones a call. Give the aunt that don't have nobody a call. And I'm talking to myself at this point. I'm gonna go out and visit one of my aunts that's here that I don't see, that's 90-something years old that often. Do that kind of stuff, man, because that's what really means something. You know what I'm saying? That's what people gonna remember when you're not here no more.
And when for those who have families, we all got families. I mean, you have a significant other, children, and all that. Enjoy them, not just during this time. Enjoy them to the best of your ability. Try to make amends with those that you may not have a good relationship with.
Definitely.
Because we're going to have to, times is getting where we're going to have to rely on people that we're close to, not hate them. I mean, when COVID first hit, I said, dear, you're going to see all kinds of divorces and stuff like that, domestic violence now. And sure enough, because it's easy to say, I'm with so-and-so, but you never see them. Or you only see them when it's time to eat and go to sleep, maybe have sex during the night, and that's it.
Yeah,
but to really be with somebody and get to know them, people are just getting to know people that they've been married to for 10 years and didn't like them. Thank God, that wasn't my thing. I couldn't be with no woman, I don't know her, and she don't know me.
Yeah,
me and my wife, there are people like, I want to do so-and-so. And my wife would be like, Balagoon not gonna go for that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna ask him. He gonna go for it. She's like, you can ask him. He's not going for it.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll call. I said, no, I'm not doing that. And you hear in the background, I told you. So I had a conversation with them.
Right.
We know each other like that, so we know how we're gonna move, man, and like being around each other. So when we had to be around each other, there was no stress. It was no different from our regular life. So really be honest, get to know the person you with. If you don't like that person, be fair to them and yourself. You have to move on. If you got children, y'all raise the children together and do well, but don't suffer through stuff and then y'all hating each other, trying to kill each other when stuff really go bad.
Yeah, bro. Be honest with yourself, man.
Just be honest with yourself, each other. And if you're gonna be with that person, damn, make it good. I don't like eating food that I don't like. I don't, I'm gonna make that job. If there's some food, I'm gonna make that job taste the best I can make it. And if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I'm gonna try to make it the best it could be for both of us. Now, you're gonna have disagreements and stuff like that, but just work through that shit. Talk with each other and make your life good for you and for the other person. But mainly it's for you to feel good. You don't want to be working, you busting your ass 8 hours, 10 hours a day. You come home, you don't get along with your significant other or your children, and then you die from a heart attack. That's your life?
Yeah, bro.
Nah, man. Enjoy your shit. Enjoy your shit and do what you love, what you're passionate about. And if you can make money at what you're passionate about, that's even better. But find a passion and do it. You may have to work a job too, but find a passion and do it that you enjoy. And if you and your significant other can enjoy it together, or you and your children can enjoy it together, or all of y'all can enjoy it together, that's great. Me and the wife and the children used to drum together. It started off, my son Ade, he's into drumming, so we put him in a djembe drumming class, and then me, the wife, and one of the children, the youngest at the time, we all drumming together, and that was fun. So I look forward to the class as much as Ade.
All right.
We were jamming and learn a new skill, learn the djembe. I always wanted to learn the djembe. So, do things together. All right, y'all.
We're going to get out of here because I Mix What I Like is waiting for us. Next up. And they're going to start right after this show. So we appreciate y'all, man. And take care of yourself during these holidays. Seriously. Think about the things we were just saying.
All right.
Come back with a tool next show.
Yes. Have a tool. We're going to ask everybody, to press a 1 or something. They got their tool on them and be honest about it. All right. So love y'all. Stay black or whatever it is that you may be. Be careful out here. Be safe. Peace.
Peace. Nobody say hey to Amaniki. She's out there. I know she's
watching. Hey, Amaniki. She'll be back with us next week.
She went to a bar mitzvah.
And we should be doing a show live. Well, this is live, but together. I'm out of town right now on vacation.
I'm in Acapulco with his wife.
Yeah, and with the fam chilling, But all right, y'all have a great week. Peace.
Peace. All right.